back for episode 4.
This is episode 4 of Daddy's Day Out, man. It's your boy GB.
Well, it's your boy B.
What's good, B?
Man, there's a whole bunch of going on, a whole bunch of things. You know, it's been a journey, man. It's been like what, 1 month?
Yep,
month and a
1
half,
month.
whatever.
Yeah, we
And
good.
it seemed like this podcast, man. When you tell somebody you shooting podcasts, they're like, here's a business card.
Exactly. Oh, when can I hop on the show with you?
Oh yeah, man. I ain't got a couple people like, man, I'm gonna get on the show, whatever. But I got a couple people I want to put on the show, but it seemed like time frame is just crazy scheduling and trying to get people to come in and you know fit in their time and our
Well, it's
time.
consistency
is
too, right?
Yeah.
So we all like a little busy. You're busy, I'm busy. Shoot, everybody else doing their day job, they busy too as well. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things, right?
True. I know people gonna feel like, man, where's his shades
I
at?
know.
He got shades on every time. You know, and if y'all don't notice, I do facial care. You know,
Hey.
black eyes or whatever. You know, what I mean, getting enough sleep, man. You gotta get sleep these days.
You ain't
bro.
never lie. Working 24/7 seems like, huh?
It seems like he working around the clock. I was just watching some things. Coming here, think about just, is it enough? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, true.
What was it enough? I know you already going to start doing your franchise. So
Oh, yeah.
want to talk about that?
Yeah. So if we do an introduction to franchise, I remember prior to me even trying to start a business, start my own personal business, I was thinking about a franchise. And it's really interesting. The first conversation I had with a gentleman, I'm not going to name this guy's name, but it was a franchise out of Boston, Massachusetts. It was like an insect franchise, like I guess you would call it like a repellent. Like you could come do home inspections and basically like, you know, looking for rodent, stuff like that. So smaller franchise, right? Not your big boys like your McDonald's, Burger King, stuff like that. So smaller franchise fee, right? So I went through the process, talked to him. The weirdest part out of the whole process, though, the actual young guy, he was younger than us. He was like 25, 26. He was going to give me a quote-unquote military discount, right, of the franchise fee. I don't really remember, so let's just say it was like $40K, right, hypothetically speaking.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to give you half off. That right there was a red flag, though, because this guy doesn't know me from anything, right? And this is my first time even thinking about doing a business.
Yeah.
So
you know when somebody say, hey, I'm going to give you $20,000.
Exactly.
It's
So
kind of like a little skeptical here, you know?
I was extremely skeptical. So what I thought to myself, wait a minute. And throughout the whole process, he was more so talking at me versus to me. And I always have a problem with people who's talking at me. You know what I'm saying? So that, and that moment, exactly. Exactly. So in that moment, I realized, you know what? Maybe if I can figure out how to, let's say, be the person on the opposite side of this phone conversation.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So it was a thought. Then it became a reality. Then I talked to like my sister, a few other people. She was like, well, you know, you could just do your own business. Yeah. You could buy those, like we started a cleaning company. Why franchise when you could buy cleaning products yourself? You get what I'm saying? You could start your own business. Yeah. So I said, you know what, that is a good idea. So that's when I looked into a turnkey. Now fast forward, got my own business, right? Cool, right? Arctic Roll Ice Cream Bubble Tea, shout out. South Carolina, Cherry Road 725. Make sure y'all come and support your boy. But no, after starting my own business for almost 2 years now, right? So now I'm in the process of wanting to franchise. So because I went through the process multiple times of how to franchise a business, now I know exactly what my business do. The biggest thing, you have to have a business that people like, that's profitable, right? People can approach kid-friendly, family-oriented, right? And most importantly, to even go down that process, I don't think people understand how expensive a process like that is, right? Just to even franchise your own personal business, it's FDD, so there's disclosure documents that you have to put together. You and I, you can't just write that down. It's so much legal jargon that you have to go to a professional.
Well, you know, the government always want that cut anyway.
Oh, of course. Regardless of what you're doing. It's even bigger than that, though. It's more so we just don't know the legal jargon. Because, for example, let's say you come to me, hey, G, you know, I want to franchise your business. Okay, we do this, but hypothetically speaking, because there's a franchise fee, right? There's royalties. Most small businesses going to be somewhere between 5 to 10% royalty fee, right? Yeah. So it's one of those things where we have to have the legal jargon in that contract. Those disclosure documents have to be truly prepared and truly ready for us, just in case if something like a fail-safe plan, right? Yeah. So there's legal jargon, legal analogies and stuff like that that's going to be in there that you and I were not privy to, or nor would we know, right? There's like specific people that handle that, attorneys, lawyers, all this great stuff. So there's companies out there that will help you, you know what I'm saying, to get your business up and running and up and start, or to at least get your business to
franchise.
To franchise. So doing that documentation or doing the research, number one. Like I said, it's extremely expensive to even go down that path, man. It's not one of those things that you're just gonna like do for $5 or $8,000 or 10, right? It's like it's gonna take some big boy money. So I'm slowly, right, slow rolling that.
Slow rolling.
Exactly.
I mean, that's good because most people that got small businesses, that's their dream because just having one successful business is hard work.
Exactly.
Then you get a franchise, and then when you start getting multiple franchises or franchisees and getting FVs, it's starting to really grow and really can actually help your business, and also it also causes another issues with taxes and government and all that stuff. So I know I got a friend that want to come on the podcast. You know who you are. I hope you show up, my boy. But he knows the taxes and things of that nature in North Carolina.
Okay.
And then he actually does walk into businesses and do the audit for the
that's
states.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
He knows all that.
Okay.
When he show up, you're like,
it could
you
be a
gotta
good
pull
day.
out the books. It could be a good day or a bad day.
Just depending.
Yeah, it depends on what it is.
When he's auditing these, what is he looking for? Are you sure? Is it like health code orders and stuff like that?
No, it's like taxes.
Oh, for real?
For the state.
Oh, for the state of North Carolina.
Yeah.
So he works for state North Carolina Revenue.
Yeah.
Oh, so man, I got a funny story about that.
So yeah, he's the one that walks into your business, and you see him.
That's not a good
like,
day then. That's not a good day.
Yeah, you see him. It's like
it's like I want my money.
Yeah.
They'll put a tax lien on your business and close it down.
Yeah.
Just for not paying taxes, sales tax.
I don't think he goes in there looking for that per se, but I think that he will have great insights on people that's already got businesses that you already want your taxes to be lined up correctly.
Okay.
When it comes to when he shows up.
True.
So when he shows up, you don't get those little liens.
Okay,
and
so
stuff like
he's
that.
probably helping out more so, or
he does.
he's doing both.
I think he does both. I'm not too particular sure. Don't quote me on it, but I talked to him. Hopefully, we're gonna lock him in and he'll show up too. So
I hope so.
That's gonna be dope.
I think the biggest thing I give to people that has a small business that want to franchise, do your research. Speak to maybe if you could find someone that's already a franchise owner. It don't matter if they, a big boy McDonald's, Burger King, Dunkin' Donuts, or something, or even a smaller one. Talk to them because believe it or not, that's still hard work too. Imagine if you had 10, 15, 20 locations. Yeah, you got your franchise fee, you get your royalties, all that, but that's still hard because you're still managing. You still got to train people. You got to teach them your brand, your product, your policies, your procedures. That's not nothing that's once again, this entrepreneur life ain't the 9 to 5. This is 24/7.
Yeah, and also, McDonald's and all that stuff, most McDonald's are different, just like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
different locations, different places. I remember I used to go to a Chick-fil-A out in I think it was like the South Park area. It was a good Chick-fil-A. You walk in, they had the playground and all that for the kids. Now it's not that. It's a drive-through. Since the pandemic, it's like basically.
Well, they wanted less people inside too, right?
There's nobody inside.
Oh wow!
So you got to pull up.
So the inside closed
completely.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Completely. That's something totally new from the other Chick-fil-A's in this area. And I'm looking like I walked up for my son. We did something with my son. I always take my kids out every time we have like a little event. I'll take them out to eat with me or whatnot.
Okay.
And we get to this Chick-fil-A and it was like, no, you can't come in
at all.
I'm like, what? I'm like, what? No, and it was like, yeah, a couple of years now we just strictly drive through. And I say, man, that gotta be a franchise,
yeah.
Because Chick-fil-A's usually you can walk in and sit down. No, you gotta sit outside.
Wow.
Or you gonna be in the car.
But see, the thing about that, they probably had to get permission though to even do something like that. So it's either they came up with that creative idea based on whatever whatever analytics they pulled up, and they probably had. More than likely, they had to go to, the CEO of whatever, right? Or whoever's in charge of that to say, hey, can we even do this? Or maybe that came down from higher, that we are doing this now.
I think it came from the pandemic.
And that makes sense.
I think it came from when the pandemic came and everybody couldn't.
Like physically sit down and next to each
together.
other. Yeah.
So that was like, oh, they give us a better opportunity to say, hey, no, you can't come in. And most Chick-fil-A's, I know one that's out in the university area too, where
Talking about the
you
one
can't.
on University,
Yeah,
University City Boulevard.
yeah.
Oh, the one when they moved across the street, right from
Right,
the opposite side. Okay,
right. You
gotcha.
can't. You really. I know for a while you couldn't go in there. You had
Mm-hmm.
to, and you couldn't even walk up. You had to already had the app and order and pay
True.
on the app, and then you could walk up and get your food.
Oh, that's
But
interesting.
but you would have to do the drive through other than that to put your orders in.
That's real
And that's
interesting.
crazy.
That's real interesting. I didn't even think of that. Hey, Chick-fil-A should give us a little sponsor too, since we shouting y'all out.
That's facts. And it's hard to be a franchisee to process with that.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I know a lot of things going on, but I also want to talk about some movies, man.
Man. Well, what type of movies?
I'm already I'm a big military movie guy.
Okay.
I like to watch all the
Full Metal Jackets.
yeah, I used to love Full Metal Jacket. I ain't gonna even hold you.
I didn't see that movie until I joined, right? Because somebody said, hey, Gobbo, you know there's a Gobbo in Full Metal Jacket? I said, for real? And I never seen the movie before. So I ended up watching it. There's a Private Gobbo. I was like, well, I don't know that guy. He's black too, right? So I was like, that's kind of dope. I was like, it's probably my cousin.
Was he getting? I mean,
He was a private, you know.
Hey, dude was
slow.
chewing everybody out in that movie, man. That was like one of the best movies, basic training you could think of. Like, man, I thought before I went to basic training, I watched
thought it was like that?
I was like, oh my God, is it really like that? Is he really gonna gold drug me? Or he was like, do you know your left from your right? He slapped him on one side, his hat spins around.
So you thought you was in for it.
I mean, when I was in basic training, I thought my drill sergeant was gonna do that for real.
But when you went to basic where?
Fort Sill.
See, yeah. So yeah. And I went at Fort Knox, so it was all male, right? No co-ed.
Oh man.
I mean, that's a tough basic training when it's just, all one gender.
Hey, the cafeteria lady was the queen of the castle.
Yeah. That and the bus driver, right? If you had
we didn't have no bus driver. We walked everywhere.
So for the Rangers that was far out, they still made y'all walk or ruck at that point?
By the time we did range week, we had to ruck out there.
We rucked to a few, but someone was so far out on it. Fort Knox is big, right? Like,
yeah.
That's where the gold at. The gold and the aliens. Top secret shit, right? So we, at some point when we got to range week, we did ruck to a few of them. But I think someone was so, I remember sitting on a bus for 30 minutes. Damn it, yeah. On Fort Knox. I was tired as hell, so maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit.
You probably was asleep half the way.
Yeah, maybe I'm exaggerating. But at least a good 20, though, for real. So a few times we did bus, and, I mean, we had, a few ladies that was, and, not trying to be funny, a 2 looked like a 20 at that point when you ain't see no... When you see no girls.
I think that's in all military training. Deployments too.
No, seriously.
You got a woman, you look at a girl, she'd be like a 1 in the street, but deployment time, you ain't seen her at all.
How she look?
She a dime.
She look like
a dime.
Stacey Dash.
And she picking and choosing too.
Oh yeah,
she picking and choosing.
For sure.
She never had this much power in her life. You know what I'm saying?
Positive podcast.
I mean, I'm keeping it real though.
You being real though.
You know what I'm saying?
Real. You ain't lying.
She has all the choices. She be like, I want him. I want him. And it's not like us that's gonna have that power. Nah, I'm good.
Usually be like a private.
6, 7 months in, you deep. You
fell at that point. I think I'm gonna suck it up this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna take one for the team.
Is it really taking one for the team? Because it's based off the environment. So
you
are the team at that point. That's a fact. But no, I think one of my favorite movies is Fury. The one with is it Brad Pitt, right?
I think it was.
They was going crazy on the tanks and stuff. Yeah, and then you saw a meme at the end. To me, I like when you go out with the team. Come on, bro. That's a selfless act.
Yeah.
We ain't doing that. That people don't have that type of mentality these days. So they went out like some G's. For real.
The crazy part, my favorite military movie wasn't even a movie.
What is it?
It was the I keep forgetting this movie name.
I thought you was about to say
it was a HBO documentary of World War II veterans.
For real?
And they was telling their stories how it went in progress time by time. They started off at what was they was shooting, they parachuted off at it was the big it was a big battle in World War II. It turned the war for United States and Germany around because Germany was whooping our ass.
Oh yeah,
for
at
real.
some point, yeah.
They were beating us down. But Normandy,
Okay.
Normandy, they parachuted in Normandy, and they split it up, and it was Easy Company, and they was telling them how each battle they was going through real time.
Oh wow.
So basically, they had each one of them on there interviewing and telling them how it went. And it was crazy, man. The dude ran up on the top of a hill, man. He had this
crazy.
I'm talking about. He had his M4 on his hip. He wasn't even up here. He was on his hip, bro.
He's lighting it up.
Man, him and this German dude came face to face. The German looked him in his face and he blew that mug away. Boom. Damn. I mean, you seen the white in his eyes. He was like, yeah, he had to go.
See, the minds of his.
It was me and him. And I mean, and that's crazy because they went through multiple scenes, multiple places. I remember one of the scenes they was supposed to be holding in one position, and they had the Germans on the other side, and they had field artillery on the other side. The Germans did.
Okay.
The Germans had field artillery, but the United States on our side didn't have nothing. They were just supposed to hold that position, and then they were supposed to strike in the next couple of days. But what they didn't telling people was they was in foxholes. They dig foxholes, right, to try to project the artillery coming in because them Germans was just shooting artillery.
So they wasn't playing no games.
Man, they was shooting artillery. You seen like people would like run into different foxholes and the artillery would hit that hole and blow everybody in that. Man, they sit in there during the winter months.
Exactly.
Like, in a prime
Frost
cold,
rain,
you put like
them get extremely cold.
Extremely cold. I mean, I remember the field was always kind of harsh when you out there on your own.
That's
in the
true.
middle of the field. It's
That's
always
true.
been harsh. But
I think one of my toughest FTX, and FTX is more of a field environment for y'all that don't know about military terminology. But I remember one of my toughest ones was in Korea. In Korea, you do this, it's like 2 weeks training at the end. I forgot exactly the name that they call it during that time, but you go all the way up to, I think, almost like Camp Casey, so close to the DMZ. And it was wintertime. And believe it or not, it get cold as hell in Korea. I'm talking about like, that's oxymoron too. But it gets like 20, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, 20, 30 degrees easily. And it snows, right?
yeah.
So I'm talking about we was out there, we doing different drills, we doing different movement tactics, you know what I'm saying? We doing wedge formation, all this stuff, right? Because we doing different formations of different things, And next thing I know, bro, I swear to, I remember I was a platoon leader for some exercise we was doing, bro. When I say I was so cold, you know how the Army is. They make you put on gear as they see fit.
Yeah.
So we in there, I got full battle ride on. I'm like, can we wear our fleece? It got to the point when people literally started getting frostbite. And then that's when the chain of command, like, all right, let's throw on a fleece jacket. Let's put on some gloves. I'm like, it took like all these people to damn near die for us to, you know what I'm saying? So I remember those days. Now, granted, honestly, me being, logistics, when I'm in the field, typically I'm doing my job.
Yeah,
but on the exercise, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you can, have a couple exercises and then it's like, oh, I got to go back to my truck.
No, seriously.
Y'all have it.
Yeah,
y'all need anything?
All y'all combat people, enjoy.
You need anything? Oh, well, I'm going to go back to my tent.
No, seriously.
And
seriously.
I'm going to chill out over here and that'll be about it.
So, especially during that field time, so me being logistics or AKA 92 Alpha, right? I remember a lot of times, especially, I think, matter of fact, when you and I did a drill in National Guard,
yeah.
And this is the same thing active duty. Typically, my job is simple, right? I do the dispatches for all the vehicles. Of course, I have to order the parts. Of course, I have to go to the SSA, which is the warehouse. So anytime a vehicle breakdown, LMTV, right, a Humvee, or shit, when I was in Iraq, we was working on not me, but the mechanics and stuff. They was working on what's those tanks called, the M1 Abrams. You remember those?
Okay.
Yeah. Because I was attached to a cavalry unit. So by the time we did rail yards and everything, and they shipped all the tanks over there to Kuwait and then to Iraq, when that, I don't know if you ever seen one of those tracks break, but if one of those break, bro, it's crazy that day. And I remember like going to the SSA, picking up all these different parts. So my job it's not simple. It's very it's a little complicated, but it's more so making sure that every single day those parts get into that front line because we need them.
Yeah, I seen a track on a hazard come all the way off.
Wow.
Like, you know how a hazard, you seen a Peloton, you know, a hazard.
Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it rolls. You got a little plate that rolls, right? So that plate got disconnected and it rolled all the way off.
Damn.
So just mind you, we in the middle of a field, so we had to roll that mug back on. I was like, I wasn't on the other tank. I was just watching.
You just sitting there observing, right?
I'm like, man, I hope that don't happen over here.
Exactly. But this, you know, it's interesting though. You know, everybody, because we all choose different jobs, right?
Yeah.
You technically, you're combat arms. I'm not. But in Iraq, though, guess what happens? We all just, especially if you're doing any missions. I became combat arms real quick, more so because you got to do what? I had to do law packs. So I'm dropping, you know, let's say printers off, or I'm picking up material from VBC a lot of times. Mm-hmm. So even my first mission, I remember that we got hit with 5 EFPs.
I remember you saying that last.
Exactly. That's how I ended up getting my CAB, which is a combat action badge. So I remember that moment like it was yesterday. Like I vividly can still remember. We was coming down Tampa. I want to say we passed maybe a halfway point. As we passed that halfway point, everything blinked out. I heard a loud noise, and after that, it was like it's kind of like watching like a Saving Private Ryan or Blind Fury, like that whole like just an eerie but silence though. And you see all the smoke, and then that moment, snapping my finger, I can hear. It's like a faint hear. I hear smoke saying, "Gobble." Gobble, gobble. But it's like it started off low, then it just started raising up. Then it's like the smoke clear. I can hear him. He's telling me to get out the back of the MRAP. And I'm like, oh, shit. And that's when I just snapped back into reality. And I got out, pulled security, got on a knee. And I remember a car was coming to us, right? At our 12 o'clock. Smoke got on one knee, said, if you go anymore, I'm going to light him up. And I'm like, damn. And in that moment, I'm like, we in some shit.
Killer instincts.
It kicked in real quick. And I'm like, oh, because we all facing our, our position, our fighting positions. I'm ready now at this point. I'm snapped back into reality.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, shit, it's about to go.
It goes back to like training, the mindset.
Yeah.
You know, the training environment always been like, oh, you got to be prepared for this and
exactly.
this and that.
Exactly.
But when it really happens, if you was trained really well,
it kicks in. It kicked in. It wasn't even funny how quick it kicked in. And I'm like, damn, we really about to be in a dogfight. And I was extremely prepared.
Extremely ready.
And I'm logistics. So I can only imagine to do combat arms. You got your infantry, you got your Cav Scout. Those dudes ready for whatever, anytime.
Every time I've been out, I didn't really get hit like that. You know, when I was there, I was blessed. We were blessed multiple times. Mm-hmm. I mean, we did raids. If you know what a raid is, let me say, you ever seen a SWAT team kicking doors at a apartment complex? They getting on. That's what a raid is, basically. Exactly. In a community at their home. I felt like I was the police a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I felt kind of awkward because it's like, we kicking in these people's
that's the
doors.
Part of the mission, though, right?
Yeah.
We're policing that wherever we're at, wherever community, whatever province we're at.
We kicked in the whole block. The whole block. It wasn't even like the one house. We kicked the whole block, plus the block down the street. Like different units. We had like it was a big mission. So it was my unit, another unit, like some cabs, infantry. Yeah, and we just took block by block by block by block.
Was y'all searching for somebody or something?
I don't get that much information.
You ain't never lie, right? We at the bottom of the totem pole, I get this. We just taking orders.
I'm taking information.
We taking whatever orders that's given to us.
It was like, well, we got this night raid. We, because some people got blown up. Like it was an IED on the middle of the street, across the street from my fob, that we wanted to figure out who was constantly doing that. Right? So.
Yeah. Was y'all on the hill or like? Because we was down in the valley.
No, we was on like a main road, like Tampa, and then we had this main freeway in front of Five Falcon.
Okay,
so
I've heard of Five Falcon before.
So they connect.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? One take you to VBC, one take us to Falcon.
Okay, got you.
That road. So we right here, and they put bombs like right outside the gate.
See. It was for us because we were so down in the valley. So imagine like you on 45, right? And then, but it's a valley down there. So that's the road. That's Tampa, basically, right? Man, all they used to do is drive by and basically dump mortars on us. So easy.
I would.
They could damn near. They don't even have to aim. They just go by. Boop. And it was raining mortars.
They probably had a pickup truck.
No, seriously, that's exactly what they had. Yeah, pickup truck. Yep, just dupe. driving by all whenever, sporadically.
What's that movie that Black Hawk Down? You know how the Africans that was just riding by.
Just light it up. No, for real. You know, one of my dopest movies though, and I think a lot of people kind of sleep on that movie, Hurt Locker, man. That's one of my movies, I think that's my top 2 for sure.
I just couldn't understand, like, they said in Hurt Locker, he had this one scene where he had, like, 5 IEDs.
Yeah.
And he grabbed that one IED, and he just, with one hand.
Like, come on, G.
Now mind you, because them rounds per se, that's my job. You know, them big rounds in Hurt Locker, that 155.
Yep.
We shoot them. Right, them big rounds.
It takes 2 people.
It don't take 2 people.
A strong individual.
I mean,
you gotta be pretty strong.
But it take 2 hands to pick up that round.
Yeah,
and you gotta lift, and you better not do it with your back. You know what I'm saying? So he takes that one wire and he lifts 5 of them by one hand. I'm looking like, wow.
What kind of incredible
I wish I had them type of skills. Because
mind you, he was in a full bodysuit too.
Man, I was just like, man, come on, bro. Like, really? You think that's realistic?
But you know, in the movies though,
but it looked awesome, though.
It looked dope. But you know, in those movies, they can't really. It's like a legal thing. They can't represent us. Technically, like for example, they always put the rank on backwards, right? They put the name tag with the U.S. Army and the U.S. Army with a name tag purposely because technically the military could sue them.
Don't want to imitate the military.
Exactly. So they can't give out every. So that's that scene. Yeah. I thought that was a dope scene though.
It was a dope scene, but me personally, I would have ran for the hills. As soon as I seen them 5 rounds,
ain't no way.
Back up.
Ain't no way.
Back up, because
even when he was running through the town late night, I was like, bruh. How? A black man doing that? Come on, G. Ain't no way you gonna survive in the middle of Iraq doing that at 1, 2 in the morning.
I mean,
come on.
You better be shooting your way out of there.
You better off in the streets of Chicago.
I used to always think, like, man, when I used to be on missions, I used to be like, man, I used to sit, because I was a gunner. So when I'm a gunner, what that mean? I have the 50 cal. I'm hanging off the side of the roof. You know, at the roof. Just like you ever seen somebody do drive-bys? You see that one person hanging out the side of the window. I did
you on
that.
the top of the turret.
I'm on top doing this all day, right? So mind you, if we go anywhere and everybody got to dismount, I got to stay in the vehicle.
Exactly.
So I'm the most vulnerable person in this mission.
You are, but you got to hold your position, though. Because your position is vital, too.
That is true, but still, I'm the most vulnerable person. If this person steps out of the vehicle and he IED explode or we sit on the mine, I'm not moving. My legs are gone.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do anything.
I've heard stories though. People like remember back in Desert Storm when it first popped off, whatever. Back then when they had all the soft tops and everything, and when we first mounted the 50 cals and all that great stuff, I heard stories of them sitting out there for hours. I'm talking 5, 6, 7, 10 hours, right? A day's like on a mission. I heard these guys had to, urinate, defecate, and guess what? The people that was in the back that was dismounting, they was actually helping them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like to do these things. So that position, a gunner, is a very important position, bro. I wasn't a gunner. I was always a dismount. You know what I'm saying?
I remember one time when we was over there and the Air Force was out there and they was deep. And I remember it was a day or two. We had to shut down all communication for 3 days
so y'all was on blackout
because of the mission where they had rode in the same route for days.
Damn.
Right, and then one day they seen an Iraqi wave at them, smile, laugh. It was a bad day that day.
I bet it was.
It was them. What's them? It was one kind of IED that everybody was scared of.
What? One like a EFP?
The ESP.
Okay.
The ESP hit the driver's door. Not the driver's, it's the passenger's door.
That's the one that shoots like at an angle.
Yeah, it shot through the door, hit the driver, split him in half, hit the gunner, split him in half, and tore a piece out of the driver. It was crazy, man.
That's wild.
They shut down everything for 3-4 days. They were like, they don't want communication. That's when something serious happened, or something that somebody don't want to come out the news, you go blackout.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know,
for sure. I mean, that's a part of just the protocols. There's been a few times where we was on blackout And, back then, back during our time, we didn't have the Instagram and the Facebook and all that stuff. I think what we use, Uvu
I was using the payphones. I was using the phones. I was using the payphones.
We had the Magic Jack app. Remember back then?
I didn't even have a phone.
No, not an actual phone, bro. Like using your internet, your computer. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I had Uvu.
I know what you're talking about.
I used to talk to my family on Uvu, which is mad pixelated. Now that I think about how far that we have grown with technology, right? And then Skype, because with Skype, you could use a Magic Jack number. So I remember calling them off the Magic Jack, but I remember those times, right? If it was a blackout and they ain't talk to me 3, 4, or a week, they going crazy. My grandmother, my mom, sister, they're like, what's really going on?
Yeah.
Then by the time I call them back, I can't tell them what's going on because
it's already. You probably already forgot about it. One.
I mean,
if it didn't really happen, to your unit or within your little
a lot
circle,
of crazy stuff happened. We was at Costco Zoo. A lot of crazy stuff happened, bro.
But it was saying if it wasn't in your circle, you didn't really think about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
After it happened, you'd be like, okay,
you back to
normal
mission,
missions every day, going do your thing. But one thing about the military when I was over there is when you took leave. You can travel wherever you wanted to go.
R&R, man.
I don't know if you want to talk about your traveling.
Yes, for sure, bro.
Like you can travel anywhere.
If I can change, right, that R&R, that 2 weeks, at that point in my life, I was only 21. So you got to remember, the first time me taking a plane was the basic training out of New Jersey to Fort Knox, Kentucky. Yeah. So my traveling experience is very minimum. I didn't understand how important traveling was at that time. So, boom, I get to Iraq, Kuwait. I'm seeing all this different stuff. If I knew that 2 weeks I had an R&R, I'm be real. I probably would have home see my family maybe for 4 to 5 days because, Patterson is only but so much I would do anyway. Yeah. I wish I'd have just said, you know what, I'm going to go take like real R&R. Real R&R is rest and relaxation for y'all that don't know. But I wish I'd have went like maybe to, I don't know, maybe Korea or, St. Thomas, somewhere or an island just to really decompress. Yeah. Because I would tell a young person, if you get R&R, go see your family real quick. But man, go travel somewhere. Go to Cancun, right? Just go relax. Go really relax and decompress. So that when you get back into that environment, you probably feel a little bit more rejuvenated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I went on my R&R. I got my driver's license. That was the first time I ever got a driver's license, and I got in a wreck.
Damn, at the same time.
I got my driver's license. I had the rental car. I scraped the bus.
Damn. You couldn't drive then?
Huh?
You couldn't drive.
That's why I was a gunner. I couldn't drive. That's why I was a gunner the whole time. I could not drive. I didn't have a license. I didn't have a military license.
But you from Charlotte. Y'all get your license early in North Carolina.
But at that time, you still in Charlotte, North Carolina, if you didn't know, when you trying to get your license, you gotta have first. Your people gotta have a car for you to drive.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Second, you gotta have insurance. You gotta have a little bit of insurance.
You can't get your provisionals though. Y'all don't do that in North Carolina.
What, permit?
Yeah, like a provisional though. Like for example, like you get your permit, but that's not really to drive, right? That's more so for you to drive, accompanied with a driver or a licensed driver. But your provisional is like a year, like a provisional type of thing.
Yeah, you can get that.
Yeah, but you only know
you can't get a real you could get insurance. It's called liability. It's like a little.
So you need insurance to get a provisional license?
You need insurance to get a license. Period.
Wow.
Here in North Carolina. That's how you got your driver's license. You go.
Wow.
What my dad we used to go do is we'll go get our little bit of license. You pay like $100. You go get your license. You get your insurance. Okay. Then you go back to your place or the insurance.
You teaching me something.
The DMV.
Okay.
And you hop in, and you show them the insurance, and they inspect the car too.
Oh,
they're gonna make sure that they.
They not playing.
Yeah, they're gonna make sure that they can.
They're not playing.
That if your turn signal, everything got to be straight on the car. To get your license.
They serious.
They're
serious.
not playing. They're not playing.
So how the hell these kids getting the license at 16?
Exactly. They driving the parents' car.
Okay, that's smart though.
So that's what happens.
Look at your phone talking.
Oh yeah. You see
the
this
feds listening.
Oh man,
come on. The feds listening.
Hold on now.
You talk about his military stuff. The feds won't listen.
Oh yeah.
We ain't talking about nothing we can't talk about.
Please. If y'all listen Apple, please. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say anything incorrectly. Okay.
We ain't talking about nothing that we can't already talk about.
But yeah, so I got my driver's license, and I hit a bus.
Wow.
I hit a city bus. I'm on,
Damn,
I'm on
city bus.
Yeah, I'm on Shamrock with my little brothers and sisters trying to shine in the new rental car. You know what I'm saying?
Feeling yourself.
And I'm trying to get them back to the crib so I can go to the strip joint.
Okay.
And I skid the bus, and that was how. And then
you had to pay.
No,
insurance covered.
Insurance.
Okay.
Because I had just got off the plane, so they were like, yeah,
Okay, so they kind of looked out for you. You should have told, man, I'm a veteran. I just got back from Iraq.
That's what I did.
I'm going back to Iraq.
Yeah, that's what I did.
A week and a half later, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because anytime, that's why I say by being a National Guard, anytime you leave, you flying away. You got tickets.
Yeah.
So I go down to the rental car place. I say, hey, I'm just flying da. They gave me the rental car. Exactly. I was good, and I was only like 21.
Wow.
So I'm like,
but see, that's the part, right? Like, if just the wherewithal of or how strong your mental needs to be once you transition out of because what usually you got to do 4 or 5, maybe a half, right? Usually most of the time on your deployments, and then you get your R&R. Once again, if I knew what I knew now and just what traveling can do and how it helps you to decompress, the mental capacity, I would have probably I would have went home, see my family, because you want to be around your family, your friends, your loved ones. But you also need time for yourself, though.
Yeah. So,
right?
What are you traveling at now? How your traveling goals are now?
Well, the last place I personally been was Belize 2 years ago for my birthday, which was really cool. Really great experience. The culture was beautiful. And that's for me, anytime I travel out the country, I'm big on really 3 things. One is the culture, right?
You want to be passport bro.
I ain't trying to be no passport bro. I can't be a passport bro no more.
Oh, yeah.
I'm locked in.
He locked in.
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm not locked in.
You're going to be a passport bro.
Yeah,
sure.
especially, I just got to go get me one first. I got to get the passport first.
Exactly. You just a bro right now.
Yeah,
no damn passport.
passport.
But no, the culture, that's something big I really harp on. Like, learning the culture, embracing the culture there, because I've been to Mexico, I've been to Cancun, I've been to Tulum, I've been to St. Thomas before, I've been to Punta Cana, DR, all these different places. The culture and the food, man. I love having really great food from different cultures, because you may go to a Dominican restaurant or a Mexican restaurant while you're in the States, but it's going to hit different once you're over there, though. I don't know if it's the air. I don't know. You know what I really think it is? I think it's what, like, for example, FDA laws, right?
Yeah.
Our laws are crazy over here. We'll let anything slide. When you go over there, they ain't letting anything slide. You know what I'm saying? Nah, like, you got to grow your vegetables like this. You can't spray pesticides on it. If you got cows and chicken, they got to eat. They on dietary restrictions, stuff like that.
They do?
Hell yeah. Man, you ever got a pack of Doritos from an Asian market that's like made out of Japan or something, and you try the American Doritos, and that's just chips. They're food. I don't eat McDonald's in America, but when I go to Korea, guess what I'm gonna eat? McDonald's. You know why? Because it's different.
I guess because I have not went anywhere without the military saying, "Hey, you're gonna fight."
Exactly.
That's the only time I ever left. So for a guy like me, what would you say to me? What would you say my first trip should be outside?
But since you want to be a passport bro so bad, take your ass to DR or Cancun.
I mean, I watch this video. I watched one cat, man. I forgot his name. He from South Africa, bro. He goes on to different countries like Peru, Brazil, but he don't go to like the normal tourist place. He go to like the favelas, and he just walk through. They like
purposely,
like they be like, "Don't go up there." He be like, "Okay, thank you," and then they keep going.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I mean, that's a dangerous game he playing, but
he does, and he's videoing everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, everybody.
Well, believe it or
looking
not,
at
though, people used to ask me all the time when I used to live in Korea, how safe did you feel? I felt extremely safe. I tell anybody that every day. Like, I felt safe. I didn't feel like I felt safer there than I felt in Jersey, if I'm being honest. You get what I'm saying? And yeah, it is a shell shock for some people, especially you go to a foreign place where there's not a lot of black people. But I can speak for myself and myself only. I haven't had bad experiences or any type of racial discriminations when, at least for me, right, through my experience so far. Has that has happened? Of course. And do people look at you kind of, not weird, but they looking at you because you're not of that culture. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, So, but everybody has their own different interpretation of that. But I've had great experience.
And guess a lot of these movies kind of
depicts certain things.
Yeah, it does. Movies has impacted how people go to certain countries, certain places.
Yeah.
You know, I remember a couple of scary movies where they, you know, they got a group of people that want to kill somebody. They pick you. You go to this hotel. Hey, it's that person. I want him. You know, and they got to torture and kill you. I forgot what that movie was, but it hunted me for a while.
So that's probably why you wasn't so like eager to travel.
Well, I needed to go to. Well, I needed to get a passport and I needed to go and travel because my dad, he's from Congo.
Exactly.
You know, he's from Africa, so I've never been. So I need to go. I've been trying to practice French and all this other stuff to go to get there, and I have not been there quite yet. I'm gonna get there.
I would tell anybody, if you have the opportunity to travel, and really that's kind of like a cliche saying because we all got the opportunity. Really. Yeah. It's just by setting apart your priorities. And you can start off small. There's a few islands like St. Thomas, St. Verde, St. Martin, right? Puerto Rico, that you can go without a passport, right?
Facts.
You can take a cruise and you can visit some of these places for a couple hours up to a day without a passport. So to me, honestly, there's really no excuse because if you don't travel, guess what? You're not going to gain new experiences. Without those new experiences, therefore, your mindset will stay the same. You will have more of a like boxed-in mindset, right? Your mentality never, ever going to change. So you need these experiences. You need to travel because then it debunks some of those myths. You know how some people, oh, well, Asians act like this. Or, you know, Mexicans act like this. Or Dominicans. That's not true. Yeah. You got to go there and speak to the people. Once you get there, you will see. Especially when I went to Punta Cana about almost 2 years ago, they were like, "Welcome home, King." Man, I felt like I was a man every day. Exactly. Oh yeah, the darker you are, shit, you gold over there.
I mean, I'm not that dark.
Yeah, but we still black though, so we good. We good. And they look like us, right?
Yeah,
so
that's
mean, when I went to Colombia, I went to Bogota, right? That's the capital of Colombia. I've seen some of the most chocolate, beautiful females in my life over there. Like seriously,
is different cultures, different places everywhere. You know,
the people
we
is amazing.
Everywhere.
Oh, we definitely everywhere.
And you could be surprised where we at too.
Yeah,
and how
that's
they look.
a fact.
You know, it's different kind of militant everywhere. You know?
Oh yeah, Brazil, right?
Yeah.
Come on now, Italy. Like what are we talking about? Russia, China.
Yeah, I'm just not going to Russia after that. You know, the basketball player. You know.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'm just like still shocked on her.
I mean, she was wilding. She was wilding.
I mean, it's not about the wilding. It's about how they gave up the Legion. You know, the top dude. You know, that could get any guns out here. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
I mean, like if I could get a crate of guns to ship to your house, and you don't know how that happened.
Yeah, but I don't think that's gonna happen no more. It's too many eyes now. But then again, I don't know.
Connection.
True.
Connection is connections.
True.
You know, they didn't think El Chapo would break out of that prison about 5 or 10 times, but he did.
He sure did. He should break out again, probably.
I was watching a TikTok where the dude was talking about how the prison that he's in, the federal prison, man, he said, I'd rather die than be in that prison. He says a cell, it's a door, and then they got bars behind the door. And then you're back there.
Wow.
They say it's not a metal, it's concrete.
The whole time.
And you back there, they read your mail on a screen to you. You don't even touch it. So you know what I'm saying? Like he in a man.
That's like quadruple supermax. Yeah, like that's some next level type of.
They said it's the Alcatraz in the Rockies, bro.
Wow.
It's like you rather go down. You rather not even want to go there. It's for terrorists, really.
Purposely, you know yeah. Set up like so that. Well, he's in there, so his mental toughness has to be extremely like top notch, right, on a high level.
Well, they don't even let you commit suicide, so I mean,
true.
I don't know if mental toughness got to do with it.
Well, yeah. I mean,
if you can still go in the cell with him and talk to him, and he can comprehend a conversation with you between, then his mental capacity is up there. But mentally, you have to be sharp to be out here and in there anyway.
What about if you compared it like to the military? You know, especially like deployments or even after deployments or even just serving. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Mental
like
toughness?
Yeah, just through basic training, through AIT, shit. You know, deploy, I got my first duty station was at 20 years old. This from a boy that I've never traveled. Mentally, it was up and down a lot of times. When I first got to Fort Hood, I felt so alone. You know, and I'm meeting all these different people from Virginia, from North Carolina, from Texas, all these different people. At some point, I was depressed. I was stressed out, right?
Miss home.
I miss home extremely. And then I found myself in Iraq. bro.
Methamphetamine works.
Bro, oh my God. But at some point, it snaps back in. The training, you know, we get a lot of training in the military. We get to talk to a lot of people.
Mentally tough, you have to be mentally tough regardless. I even put that in the civilian world.
Exactly.
Nothing's easy.
If it's that easy, it's not worth having anyway.
You know, find a paycheck. I was reading, I was listening to a motivation because I am a positive person always, and I was listening to a motivation speaker before I got here, and he says, when is it enough? What you got to take? What you gonna do to move forward? You got everything that you need in your head, mentally, to move forward, but you in your own way. Stay out your own way. And you mentally, because you was there. But you was getting in your own way, thinking about home. And really, why would you think about home for real? Because they doing the same thing they did before you.
And that's a fact. And I've had an NCO, right, sit me down. I'm like, yes, sir, I'm going through. Like, I get what you're going through because we all been there, but you got a mission. You chose to join the Army. You chose to better yourself. You chose to put yourself in a certain situation. It's up to you now to figure out this path. So he basically told me what you just said. Stay out your own way, right? Like, focus on whatever goals you're trying to achieve, wherever you're trying to go, focus on that. Prepare your mental. One thing I tell people when they ask me, I just had a gentleman the other day ask me, hey, man, I said, he saw my Army hat. He's like, hey, man, you was in the Army? I was like, yeah. And he was like, man, you know, physically I'm good. I said, it's not about the physical. Bro, you're going to do push-ups and sit-ups all day. You're going to run a lot. The military could get you truly prepared physically easily. It's the mental part you got to have. That's the part that the military just can't give you. It's up to you to do the work, right? That's not you can't get trained on, you can get trained on mental stability and toughness and awareness, stuff like that, but the onus is still back on the individual.
And I was watching, like, the Navy SEALs getting... You know, they go through a real tough course. Navy SEALs, Green Berets,
Ranger, Special Forces,
any kind of special training anyway. And they always say it's 10% mental. I mean, not 10%, but 10% physical, but 90% mental. Your body will give up before your mind.
Oh, for sure. Every time.
You know what I'm saying?
Every time. We done ruck marches. You know how many times I had to push myself mentally? I felt my legs about to give up, but guess what? I told I'm not going to quit. I'm not going. I've done 10Ks, 5Ks, 15Ks. Guess, and coming in first and second place back there when I could run 2 miles 11 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But mentally, I had to push myself to do it. Physically, I was worn out. You know what I'm saying? And that even now, right? Just in day-to-day life right now, it's still a sprint. It's still a mental. It takes your mental capacity and your mental awareness has to be really high to get up to do what you and I do every single day.
And don't let this guy fool you, man. This guy mentally is really tough, man. He got a full-time gig, business. Then we do podcasts. Then we got kids. We're full-time fathers. You know what I'm saying? So mentally, you have to be strong. I always talk to people. Anytime I ever talk to somebody, they always say, hey, man, you in a positive state. What's going on with you? And I'm like, I'm mentally just there. Like,
we're not going to look at the negative. We're going to look at the positive.
Everything got to be positive, positivity. I might talk a little junk to you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But being positive, that mind state can take you a long way.
Agreed.
You know, it take you a long way, even in your job, your family, your friends. Improvement every day. So that's why I use my little Me Plus app. You know
Shout out to Me Plus app. We searching for y'all too. But hey, I think that's a really a good note to end on, man. Positive mindset. You know what I'm saying? Positive stableness and positive just outlook on everything. What you think?
I think that is a great place to end it. And I also want to let everybody know we still appreciate all the love y'all showing us.
Yes, sir.
You know,
yes, sir.
Leave us comments, subscribe to us, let us know what you like, what you didn't like, how we improving, because we doing this game just like everybody else.
Exactly. And we giving a free game out here, right? We sharing knowledge, we sharing information. So we just gonna continue to do this on each and every podcast, and hopefully, y'all tune in and continue to support us. So shout out to the Big League Network. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Tone. It's your boy GB.
Boy B.
And we out. Peace, Daddy. Day out.
One.
Peace.